Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Welcome to my subscribers in the Philippines. Welcome to my subscribers in America and beyond. I always like to give a special welcome to my new viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for stopping by. You know, it would be very remiss of me if I didn't mention the fact that I've went over 5,000 subscribers. And man, you know, I don't really know what to say. I'm humbled, I'm flattered. I mean, you people continue to amaze me. If you'd have told me 4 months ago when I started my channel that I'd already have 5,000 subscribers, I'd have thought you were crazy. But my promise to myself and to you is I'm never going to change. You know, if you look at my videos, they're the same. They're just a little bit better. I'm a little bit more comfortable behind the camera than I was at first, but it's basically the same, you know, because I don't know how to do it any other way but to give you the nitty gritty, but to give you the boots on the ground, common sense experience that I have over here, just to make your stay here more enjoyable and more safer. So thank you so much. You know, I can never pay you back. As long as these videos are useful and they're helpful, I'm going to continue to make them. And I mean, your kindness, your generosity, your support, I mean, it's just so overwhelming to me. I can't believe I get a comment every day like, man, you're at 5,000 already, you know, go for 10,000, you know. I'm going to just take it as far as it'll go, but it's real humbling to me. And if you knew my life story, you know I don't have a problem with being humble. So you're not going to see me wearing a three-piece suit here the next time you turn on one of my videos or talking down to anybody. No. I'm going to give my videos the same way I make them when I had 50 subscribers. But I have to tell you that I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. I mean, you know, it's just amazing. I really don't know what to say. But I want to talk about the Filipino spirit today that I saw in town yesterday. But before I get started, there's a couple of guys that asked me to address some things some questions they had. And it's not enough to make a whole video, so I just elaborate on it real fast and then I'll get to my topic. But the first one is from Clock, Klock 127. Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for the comment. He asked me, he says, he was looking at one of my videos from a long time ago as a tourist. And he says, are your children U.S. citizens? And who determines that? What about child support? Well, as a U.S. citizen, any U.S. citizen, when you have children abroad, they're U.S. citizens by virtue of birth. But there's a process that you have to go through. You have to apply for what's called a CRBA. It's a consular report of birth abroad. Okay, and it just makes it official. And it's a simple process. You have to prove your, maternity, with pictures before, during, and after the pregnancy. Your passport entry and exit has to coincide with the conception. You sign a 10-year affidavit of support. I guess that would be considered child support because, see, the Philippines, if he stays over here, because I got one son who lives with me and one son who lives with his grandmother in Naga, Cebu. They don't press child support, man. You just got to do the right thing. You got to be a good guy. You got to step up and do the right thing and take care of your kids. I've raised 4 daughters in America. That's no problem with me. Every single month I send him something. So the U.S. government determines that he's a U.S. citizen. And I'll give you this and I'll go on to the next question. When I brought my son and my wife over, my wife was on a K-1 visa, all right? So any dependents she had are K-2 visas, right? So I did that for her and her son. Everything went through. I paid for the applications, the medical, the interview. And when he gets to the interview, and they cancel the interview, they say, no, he's a U.S. citizen. He needs his CRBA. He doesn't need all this stuff you've already paid for. And by the way, Mr. Roach, you don't get a refund for that. You've wasted $500 is what I wasted. And I say that to anybody who's going through the process now. If you are the father of the baby, He's not a K2. He's a CRBA. Do that before the interview. Are they going to hold up your the process? Okay. The next question is from Kenny D. He says he can't find anything on YouTube about his situation. He's younger than his Filipino wife or girlfriend. He's 47, she's 53. I said, yeah, because it's very, very rare. As a matter of fact, you're the first one that I've ever encountered in that situation. I'm just going to give you my boots on the ground experience. Here's what it is. When I was 45, I went through what I thought was a midlife crisis, but psychologists are now saying there's no such thing as a midlife crisis. What it is daily stressors that continue to add up, and then they overload you, and you start acting, in ways that we consider midlife crisis. You go out and get the convertible, which I did. You have a desire for young women, which I did. You feel trapped in, which I did, so I started traveling around. Okay, but I had a desire for younger women. My wife at the time, I was 45, she was 38. She was too old. Okay, and that's usually the experience with a lot of men when we come over here. We want younger women, so I really can't speak on that. I mean, that's a real rare situation. Maybe you need to come on here and tell other guys about it, because women, in my, I'm 57 now, in my experience, they mature fast. I raised 4 daughters in America. I know they, my daughters started having their menstrual cycle at 12 or 13, and they were way beyond anything a 12 or 13-year-old boy could handle, mentally and physically. So as we get older, I'm 57, and this is no knock on women, but I'm not attracted to 57-year-old women. I don't care what they look like. I'm just not attracted to them. And they're probably not attracted to me. They're a lot older than me, okay, in the way they live, their lifestyle and everything like that, okay? And that's no knock on anybody. I'm just saying. So that's probably why, I've got a younger woman. My father always told me, at least have that 10-year age gap, and he was telling me this when I was 16 years old. I thought he was crazy. I'm like, Dad, I ain't even worrying about getting married, man. I'm trying to make the varsity basketball team. You talking about getting married, but it stuck in my mind. My wife, like I said, she was 7 years younger, and we stayed together for 18 years, good years, 16 of them. The last 2 were not, but, so Kenny D, man, all I can say is I wish you good luck. I did date a woman over here. She was 41 when I met her, the first woman I ever really met. And, we were together for those 2 weeks I was here. And then I saw her like 3 years later in Ayala Mall. She was almost unrecognizable. And she told me why. We sat down, we went to Jerry's Grill. Now that's a tip I'm giving you. I like their food. They got good Filipino dishes, delicious. And the price is right. And she told me she was going through menopause. And she said out of her mouth, not me, that a lot of Filipino women go through menopause early. So that would have made her about 44. And see, me right now, I'm telling you, I'm 57. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm at my sexual peak. And man, it would really put a crimp in things if I was with a woman and she was going through that menopause right now, man. I don't know, they don't want you to touch them, they're not in the mood for things like that. Come on, women, help me out here, because I really don't know what I'm talking about for real. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted a younger woman. I was going through that midlife crisis. So thanks for your question, Kenny D. But yesterday, man, I told y'all the other day I went into town. And I said, man, I actually had to stand in line in the grocery store, right? Nothing like yesterday, man. I went to the department store, because there's a 6-year-old that lives here, man, and Christmas is still big to her. So, I bought her a couple of things in the department store, man, and the line, every cash register, the line was a mile long. And I know I stood in line for at least 20 minutes. And I said, man, I got frustrated. I said, yeah, this is almost back to normal. All right, then went to the grocery store, same thing. I mean, the streets were full. And, Christmas is big for the Filipino. And I'm thinking, maybe, it's Christmas, because they'll save their money all year, to make sure that they have a good Christmas. Because, man, you used to see some of the feasts that they have. Man, they eat a lot of food, man. And, everybody's buying toys, they buying presents. I mean, the street vendors are busy. The pharmacy was crowded. People scurrying around, man. If it wasn't for the shields and the masks that we have to wear, you would think it was pre-pandemic. I'm talking about it was crowded, man. And I wanted to say it was Christmas. But really, man, that's the Filipino spirit, man. These people are resilient. If you ever thought that a pandemic was going to stop the Filipino, you don't know Filipinos, man. They've been through all kind of catastrophe, trauma, tragedy, emergencies, man. And no pandemic is going to stop them. They celebrate. They have one of the longest holiday seasons on the planet. They start celebrating Christmas in September. But it was just the spirit, man, that you see. It'll touch you unless you're dead. And I'm going to tell you what I saw yesterday. And I'll give you some of my experiences in my 11 years. But here's what I saw yesterday. I'm waiting on the tricycle to take me back home. I'm standing in front of the Save More store. And there's a banana vendor out there. He's got this big sleeve of green bananas. And this lady, she's begging, him. And don't you know, man, this guy took 2 bananas, and the hair on my arm is raising up. Man, he took 2 bananas off that sleeve and gave it to this lady. Now, you got to understand something, man. I've never seen that. You got to understand the profit margin of these little street vendors, man, is very, very slim. Those 2 bananas could have been his profit, man. But I guess the spirit was in him, man, and I never seen that happen. Normally, they run him away. Man, get out of here. Man, he took those 2 bananas off there, man. I tell you what, man, I had to look away. Because I tell you what, it touched me, man, a way that I'm supposed to be this macho man, man. But that's how it is over here, man. When you come over here for the first time, that's why I tell you it's a magical place, man. I ain't just talking about these women over here, man. I ain't talking about the beaches and all that. I'm talking about the people, man. They're warm, they're welcoming. And you think, I remember Anthony Bourdain said it. He was like, they're some of his most favorite people on the planet because they're so happy and they're so giving, and he can't figure out why. They have so little. And it's like that, man. I remember one time, and this is the type of stuff you're going to see when you go over there. It reminds me of when I was little. I remember one time my mother signed me into the new school. My mother's from the country, which would be the province here. And I'm in the 5th grade, and my mother, she's dressed up real nice, and we go into the school, and when the principal's office, she signed the papers, man, and I looked down, and my mother didn't have on no shoes at all. Barefoot, man. And she didn't care. That's how my mother was. That's why I loved her, man. And that's why I'm the way I am today. But a similar thing happened to me over in the Philippines. I took my son's mother, her family out to eat. They live up in the mountains, man. And this is very rare for them. And we get to the restaurant, man, and none of them had ever seen a menu before. They didn't know how to read it. So I ordered for everybody. And I don't know, I must have dropped something or something. I looked down, and the father and the brother didn't have on any shoes. Man, I about died, man, because, me being from America, but it was funny, and then it was kind of like a culture shock. Because what they did, they left their shoes outside like they do over here. They have a tradition in the Philippines, and you'll see it when you come over somebody's house. I don't care how ugly your feet are, how dirty your socks are. Man, take your shoes off, take your flip-flops off when you walk into their house. Even if they got a dirt floor, don't do it. It's a sign of respect. And, you're going to see stuff like that over here. But that's why I like the Philippines. You remember, I tell you, because it's just a simple life. If you don't like a simple life, you're probably not going to like it over here. I could wear this shirt 3 days in a row. Nobody would care, man. Nobody would notice. Okay? You're going to see stuff like this over here. You're going to go into the department store, and you're going to be looking around. A saleswoman, a salesman is going to come up to you, and you'll be talking to them. Then you're going to look down at their feet, and they may have on some shoes that are 2 or 3 sizes too big. But nobody cares, nobody notices, because they understand the struggle here. It reminds me of when I was little. No one in my community was rich. We all understood that the struggle. You know, so if you didn't have new furniture in your house or the latest car or something like that, people understood. And that's how it is over here, man. So when you come over here, man, that's why I always tell you to be humble. You know, don't look down on anybody, man, because these people have a whole lot more than money can buy. You understand what I'm saying? You know, yeah, we may have a higher standard of living, but I tell you what, man, what they have, man, you can't buy it. And I've tried to get it, you know, and I'm getting it a little bit at a time, you know, because I say, you know, you can't change the Philippines. You can come over here and complain all you want. You cannot change the Philippines, but the Philippines will change you. I came over here, I was some shallow, egotistical maniac, and now, man, I've turned out to be a pretty decent human being. And it's all because of the Filipino spirit. They'll give you the shirt off their back, man, and they don't have nothing. And you be like, man, what are you smiling about? What are you so happy about? And I seen it yesterday, man. I'm going out there today. I just want to walk around. I'm going to take my camera with me because I should have did it yesterday. That's what I told my girlfriend. I said, man, I wish I'd have captured this. You know, it's like pre-pandemic out here, you know. But it's just that spirit. They're not going to allow a pandemic to stop them. Man, these people have survived earthquakes, typhoons galore. They, you know, any catastrophe that you can possibly name, they have survived it. So a pandemic's not going to do it, man. So I'm glad to be here experiencing the pandemic with them because I know they're going to take care of me. I know they're going to look after me, and I don't have to panic. So thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks again, Clock 127, Kenny D, for your feedback. Man, thank everybody for the 5,000 subscribers, man. I'm blown away. My channel is really only 4 months old, okay? I've been on YouTube for 10 years, but it was as a tourist. I only started making these videos 4 months ago. And to think that I've gained some type of traction, that I'm actually being helpful, man, it blows me away, man. It's really, really humbling, man. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. But if you're in America, it's getting late. You know, before you let your head hit the pillow, please help somebody. If you don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're getting off work second shift, man, you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a couple of dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's about 8:30 in the morning. We got all the rest of the day to find somebody to help. Please help somebody, because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time.